We all want to know that the things that we do in life matter, right? There's a part of each one of us that just longs to feel significant, meaningful, but there's also typically this battle that's going on in our minds. Doubts start creeping in, and we begin to wonder if the things that I'm doing in life really matter. Is it significant or not? There's a passage I read this week in the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament. This is chapter 49, and starting in verse 3, this is God speaking to Isaiah. Look at what he says. Verse 3, it says, "He said to me, 'You are my servant, and you will bring me glory.'" Now, that's a pretty incredible statement, really. I think we would all love to hear God say that to us. "You are my servant, and you will bring me glory." That's what we want as Christ followers. We want to bring glory to God. But you know what? Sometimes life sort of has a way of changing things that we plan to do. Sometimes they don't go the way we want, and maybe we can start doubting if we're making any kind of an impact at all. I think Isaiah wrestled with this same kind of thought. He goes on in verse 4, it says, "I replied, 'But my work seems so useless. I have spent my strength for nothing and to no purpose.'" And I just wonder, how often do we feel that same way? Do we feel like my work, it just seems so useless and I'm spending my strength for things that don't matter? There could be a lot of different things that kind of contribute to that. Maybe you're a parent and you have kids who have gotten a little bit older and maybe made some poor choices. And you can start to wonder if all the parenting, all that work that I did was useless. It seems useless now. Or maybe you just find yourself in a job that just really feels mundane and unfulfilling and meaningless. Maybe you just look around at our world and you see division in so many different places, and you kind of wonder sometimes, why do I even bother? Why am I trying to be kind, to be encouraging, to be positive? Because it seems like it's so negative around me, and we can get discouraged that our efforts don't really matter. I know for me, I can look at the church, and if things aren't going the way I want, well, then I can feel like a failure and feel like, oh, my work as a pastor, it just sometimes feels like it doesn't matter. Well, we all can have situations like that. But look at what happens next, what happens in Isaiah here. He says, it seems useless. It seems like I've spent my strength for nothing and to no purpose. But then he continues, "Yet I leave it all in the Lord's hand. I will trust God for my reward." You see, here's the truth. It's not about how we feel. It's not about whether we feel like our lives count or not. What matters is what God says about us and what God does. And, our responsibility is just to be faithful with what the Lord gives us, with what he asks us to do. And then we trust him for the results in our life. And we get our affirmation from him alone, not from things going the way we want or anything like that. It only comes from him. I love how Paul addresses this in the New Testament, this same idea. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, he says, "So, my dear brothers and sisters, be strong and immovable. Always work enthusiastically for the Lord, for you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless." And I hope that today you guys can just hear that as though that's the Lord speaking directly to you today. What you are doing is not useless. It does matter. And I want you guys to be able to believe that today. Take some encouragement from God and from his word. Have a good day.